Okay, we're ready?
We're ready.
Okay. Okay, for the 0 Hour Square show right now, we got an interview with the Genitorturers. I don't know what to ask, I don't know what to say. It was the most fucking insane show I've seen in a very long time, ever. One of the, well, it's right up there with, I gotta say it, with War. Just fucking
Twisted.
unmotherfucking believable. I don't know what to say, okay. But we're gonna talk to the Genitorturers right now. I'm gonna, a couple of the members right now. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, what they play, what they do, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I'd like you to welcome the Genitorturers to 0 Hour Square. Okay.
Jen, vocals and resident piercer.
Jerry, guitar and audio mania.
Cool. Okay, well, how you guys doing today? And oh, what a question. How you guys doing today? And how are you enjoying this tour supporting the new album, 100 Days of Genitortures?
Oh, it's
120
great.
days, excuse
It's
me.
great. We got a new record on IRS Records. It's 120 days. We just got off, actually this is like the third leg of the tour at this point. Here's the new record, right here.
Buy this,
And it's
please.
got nasty pictures. Actually,
Music too.
it's got some censored pictures in here, actually.
Really?
Quite
The
censored.
penis picture.
You won't be able to get the penis pretty soon, so buy the ones with the penis now.
After this, second pressing, no penis. That's done. Actually, this is the third leg of the tour. The first leg was, we went out with Danzig. We did the whole...
Sacred Right.
Danzig and Sacred Right did the whole east, southeast, and then went out west. And now, then we went up to the northeast, did New York, and did a big limelight show, and now we're heading out west, and we're coming back from California.
Cool.
And on the way home, and then we're headed over to Europe.
Cool. If you guys would tell us a little bit about your history, you know, a little bit about yourselves, a self-bio of the band, if you will.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit how it all started.
Well, I started the band in '86 while I was in college, basically out of boredom. I was, needing some artistic outlet because I was taking pre-med microbiology, all these like hardcore science courses. So I started the band as a performance group and a band because it made sense to me to have a visual performance accompanying music. As time has gone by, we've gone through different musicians, and we've gotten to the point now where we've got some very good musicians in the band, and that's when we've gotten the record deal with IRS and gotten an album out. And Jerry's been in the band a few years now, and we've been working hard and kicking ass.
Working really hard, man.
Cool.
We're proud of the album. Very
So
proud.
this is your debut album?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Before this, we have some pretty rare stuff that's pretty hard to find. We have some limited edition 7-inches called The House of Shame 7-inch, and we have some demos. But this is really our first album. It's definitely our first CD.
Right.
So,
The concept, to say the least, is very unique. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that and how it came to be a pretty major part of the band and how all that worked into it. How did the interest spark up? And it's hard for me to explain that as far as the interest itself of what it is. So kind of go through the whole thing for our viewers.
well, I mean, there's so much to it. It's kind of hard to. I'll try to give a brief synopsis. But basically, I mean, growing up, I was very much interested in body decoration, and this is something that my interest in this really evolved over time into being interested in body modification, which includes piercing, tattooing, scarification, different forms of decorating the body and using the body for spiritual release and for sexual release. And
Also manifested in this one was the true spirit of punk.
punk, yes, I was very much into growing up. I grew up here in Albuquerque. Around my main influences were all the punk bands that were here, the Wongs, Jerry's Kids, and I was very much into that, the whole hardcore scene and the vibrancy that gave in terms of creating a message. It always had a message. All the music, all the lyrics said something to you, and which you didn't get out of like mainstream rock and roll.
And overwhelming aggression also.
Exactly, and so we've tried to maintain that in our music. Even though we're on a major label, we want to maintain that aggression, we want to maintain that whole philosophy of saying something to our audience in terms of having a philosophy. Why we do what we do on stage has a lot to do with the fact that we have a very strong philosophy about that relates to body modification, how it augments sexuality and spirituality, and really just having a visual performance makes sense to us with the music.
Can you describe a little bit of the visual performance for the people that were unfortunately were unable to go to the show either because of age or were
Right, that's
unaware of?
unfortunate. I mean, we were really hoping we could at least do an 18 and over, hopefully all ages. But this was a 21 and over show. which means it was also a little more graphic than we would do for religious. But images of body modification, we did some piercings on stage, we did some in a ritual setting and an SM setting, and images of dominance and submission. That's all concepts that we deal with.
Right. Now, one of the things I'd like to commend the band for is the concentration, extreme concentration. What kind of work goes into doing a show and a performance like this, and being able to pull it off as perfectly as you were able to do?
It's the strangest thing. Every time I'm asked that, I can't explain. It just seems so natural. In this band, it just happens. It's like natural chemistry.
Yeah, it's like we've just evolved. In other words, this isn't something that we just thought up one day, and this is something that has evolved over time. In other words, this band started off as a three-piece, and myself playing bass and singing, and doing piercings in between songs, and integrating performance art, and then it's really evolved into this today. So it just is kind of a natural progression. It makes sense to us to have a performance with performers going on while there's music.
Right. What's your favorite part of the show? What's the part that gets you the most, that you enjoy doing? What is it about the set that just drives you absolutely insane? I mean, it looks like the whole thing's in complete fun, but I mean...
that's the thing, is that we are very serious about our beliefs in terms of what we do and why we do them, but the thing is we are entertained by what we do, because this is who we are as people. In other words, there's some bands that maybe like present stage acting. In other words, they put on costumes and act on stage. We're a bit different in the fact that what we're doing is we're getting on stage and we're presenting who we are as individuals. In other words, presenting our reality to you on stage. So that's why it comes across as so honest and also fun and entertaining, because we enjoy what we do.
It's varied. It's really varied, because some songs are very serious and very ritualistic, and some songs are just fun and just, you know, just for...
Yeah, I mean, you take Pleasure and Restraint, which is a very serious song, with Jacket Man, which is just, you know, mayhem.
Just total fun for the hell of it, you know.
Yeah, just pushing, that's like pushing the envelope, in other words. You know, there always has to be extremity on this end to balance things out, because we've got the right-wing fundamentalists. We have people that are trying to censor everything that we do, say, think, and so we almost, and they're weighting heavily, and there's like a, you know, the scale here, and we're the extremity that's going to balance that out. We have to have this, we have to have that to keep pushing, and that's what we aim to do.
It's a little bit of a statement behind it.
There's a lot of a statement, and the thing is you know, our stage show and what we do as a band affects people on a very individual level. Tonight, there were probably a lot of people that were stoked as hell, but there were a number of people that probably were absolutely disgusted, revolted, and left. And that's fine. The point is this, though: we affected every person to think and feel, and that's what we do. No one left just, oh, it's okay. People hate it or they love it, and that's what we want.
You get a reaction no matter what it is, whether it's, you know, whether someone is disgusted or overjoyed. It's a definite, powerful reaction.
It's very individual.
I noticed also the audience participation that goes on. What's been the craziest thing that an audience member has done that maybe has even kind of freaked you out a little bit?
Oh, well, I think probably in Miami when we were playing, we went off for our encore, and nothing was going on except that these people in the audience actually got up on stage and started actually having intercourse amongst each other.
It's awesome.
While we weren't even playing or nothing, you know, we were gone.
I was applauding.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, that was a lot of control.
Sounds pretty crazy. Sounds pretty happy. Okay, now earlier we talked before the interview, and you mentioned earlier also in the interview that you were native Albuquerque, or you were born raised here?
Born here, raised here, went to school here, and am now returning to create more mayhem.
How does it feel to be back home and creating the mayhem?
It was cool. I mean, it was really, I think the biggest rush for me was the fact that there were a lot of people here tonight that were in bands that, as I was growing up, I went to see them. You know, they were my idols in terms of, like, I really respected what they did as artists and everything, and a lot of those people were here watching me tonight, and that made me feel good.
Cool. As far as what you also added, and saying that it's part of like a personal life that you share with the audience, as far as, you know, when they listen to the album and when they see your shows, how did you get into that? Is that just, it's a crazy question.
It just happens naturally. It's hard to explain when people ask.
Yeah, I mean, well, in terms of this being a part of my lifestyle, it's
not meaning to sound bad either. It's a curious thing.
It's just something that's just really evolved over time, and in terms of, you know, in order to be, you know, a strong individual, one must go through a lot of periods of one's life and to seek for things, always look beyond. In other words, in life, things are only worth something if you seek them out. Anything that's just handed to you on a platter is not worth as much as something that you seek out. And the fact that we continue to seek and go beyond creates, you know, a lot of strength.
Way beyond the face value.
Exactly,
Just
exactly.
touching the surface.
Yeah.
Very interesting. You guys really do I commend you on your show. And the whole entire set was very brilliantly done. I thought, you know, from the sound when we were watching everything, concentration, the love of the music, the love of what you guys are doing. Commend you guys for that highly. That was very good.
Absolutely, we give it everything we got.
Your parents were here, right?
Oh, certainly.
So that's what they thought of the show.
Well, I mean, they've actually seen the show a number of times. My mother was at Lollapalooza when we played, and they've also seen our show on the Danzig tour, so I mean, they've seen the show a few times. This was their first 21 and up show, so it was probably a little bit more extreme for them. But I mean, they respect what I do and my decisions, and they're very supportive.
Cool. Give us a word picture about your album. You know, the lyrics, the concept. We know a little bit more about the concept now,
Right.
but the style and the sound. Let's talk a little bit more about the music itself, if
Okay.
you would kind of paint that for us.
Well, the first thing, I mean, that sets the tone for the record is the whole concept of 120 Days of Genitorture. That whole title is taken from a work by Marquis de Sade, that was a 16th century novel that was, the whole purpose of that was to break taboos. And so, philosophically speaking, we in the 90s seek to break these same taboos regarding sexuality, etc. Musically speaking, I'll let you address that.
Musically speaking, a lot of influences are pretty evident, you know. A lot of the older school musical influences, like blues, like I'm a blues man, absolutely. I learned to play blues and I'll play blues until I die. But a lot of people, you know, say we're a lot of different things. People think we're punks, people think we're thrash metal, people think we're industrial. We're just a melting pot of all those influences, and if I classify it, I just classify it as heavy, aggressive rock and roll, because we have so many different influences, and everybody in the band has very different backgrounds and very strong personalities, but we all come together on common ground, and this is the result of that.
A lot of diversity involved.
Definitely, yeah.
Just
That's why that
aggressive
album is-
diversity.
Yeah.
Right. Where do you see yourselves going, say, in the next album? What direction, both musically and conceptually? What can we expect? And what would you like to see? Any plans yet? Still
Well,
early?
we want to maintain the level of strength and aggression.
Maintain all our
obviously.
integrity, I mean, you know.
And just be true to what we feel. I mean, really, music is used, it has been used throughout history to, whether it's been used in association with ritual or all
Or
sorts-
just personal pleasure.
yeah, all sorts of things. In other words, what it does is music evokes emotion, and whatever emotion we're feeling, that's what you're going to get on a disc. So
Right.
it's just, we're just very honest, whatever that is.
Right. So too early to plan out or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, we just want to take that one step further and, you know, make it the next level.
Go from there. Well, that about wraps it up. Is there any questions about the Genitortures that I didn't ask that you'd like to tell the Albuquerque viewers? Anything you'd like to say on behalf of the 0 Hour Square Show and everybody in Albuquerque? We'd like to welcome you back to Albuquerque. It was great seeing you, and that was a great show.
Just be prepared to, next time you see the Genitortures, just come with an open mind and be ready for a challenge, whatever that is.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it very much. And that's 120 Days of Genitorture. The Genitorturers. Buy it. Check it out. Unreal. It took my breath away. I don't know what to say. Thank you very much. 0 Hour Square.